Let the girl dance.
Hey everybody, I'm Randy Silvis.
And I'm Tony Mullet.
Welcome back to SLOTRODS, and welcome to our third and final night of our Wintertime point series we call The Underground.
For tonight's 3 rounds of racing, we're increasing the points once again. And tonight the drivers will be getting 5 points for crossing start, 6 points for crossing the finish line in their own lane, 12 points for a win, 0 points for a disqualification, making 23 possible points per round.
This was our point standing when we last left you, but since night 2, several cars suffered mechanical failure and will not be racing with us tonight.
Finkliner, Pink Panther, and One Man's Poison have all dropped from the bottom of the list.
I had to pull Manalishi, Bolt, and Cobra from the list because I wasn't going to make it to the races that night.
Red Runner, The Wrecker, and Mean Streak all suffered catastrophic failures.
And they were replaced with 7 last-minute participants. For the 412, we got Blue Bayou, Eliminator, 911, and the Fireball.
Whew, we seen them all winner.
I don't envy them at all having to step onto the moving train we call the Underground.
Well, they got here on the last night, so I think they're pretty much here to get data for the spring races. We also have 3 rookie cars making their first passes down the track tonight.
And they are On a Budget, Suprabad, and Christine.
You mean Christine?
The very same. And that Plymouth Fury still as beautiful and scary looking as she ever was.
Round 1, race 1 is Valentine, who's tied for first with 58 points versus number 25, GetX. We starting off with a drag race today.
GetX gave Valentine one hell of a run for first off the trailer. Did GetX win?
Yep, and that's why they call it drag racing, folks.
And that gives GetX a total of 48 points.
And Valentine works her way up to a total of 69.
The 11 points she got for the loss gives her a very tenuous hold on first place.
And unfortunately, on night 3, with how the points are going to stack up, she's going to need bootleg and vengeance to lose at least 1 race tonight.
Round 1, race 2, the 59 Stingray called Prince versus Drew's Magic 8 Ball.
From the view at camera 2, it looks like it's going to be a photo finish.
Now that's a drag race. Stingray by half car. That brings Prince up to 58 points, moving him all the way up to second place.
Round 1, race 3, the 1940 Willys called Golgotha,
which Tony mistakenly called a Ford the last time.
Versus a new entry from the 412, the Fireball Camaro. Golgotha for the win, and that brings Golgotha up to 76 points and gives Fireball his first 11.
Round 1, race 4, Brian Kane in Blue Bayou versus the young upstart Jake Rendos in his GTO called Vengeance.
I'm running.
Camera 2 on. Camera 3. Hit the lights. Well, Brian still quick off the light. He was a half a car out in front of the kid, but the GTO just came around him on the big end.
And that's Vengeance for the win.
That brings Vengeance up to 81 points, pushing him into first place. And it looks like Golgotha would be in second place with 76, pushing Valentine into third.
Round 1, race 5, the Red Reaper versus Scott Regis.
Looks like the Red Reaper had trouble with the line again, and this time it was a combo platter of misery. One of his brushes must not have been touching the rail, and it left him DOA, and when he did get it to connect, it spun a gear.
Scott Regis gets the win, and assuming Tim don't drive that Camaro off a cliff, he'll be back to fight another round.
Scott Regis bumps up to 52 points, and the Red Reaper creeps up to 64.
Round 1, race 6, all the way from Memphis and driving for the 724, Old Heavy, up against a rookie on a budget.
No, man, you read that wrong. This is a rookie driving a car called On a Budget.
What did I say?
Well, On a Budget can get down because you just gave Old Heavy a drag race.
Oh, Old Heavy by a Memphis bumper.
Old Heavy moves to 56 points, and On a Budget cracks the seal with 11.
Round 1, race 7, the Ford on Ford crime. Tony in the Ford Fairlane called Black and Blue versus the 65 Galaxy called Grim Reaper.
I dropped a new motor in Black and Blue, and it just took off like its tail was on fire.
Black and Blue by a lot.
Black and Blue gets bumped up to 74 points, and Grim Reaper sits at 50.
Round 1, race 8, the Tri-Tire Tri-5 55 Chevy called Wicked versus newcomer Super Bad.
And rookie put it on Wicked.
And he put it on him good too. And that's Super Bad for the win.
Wicked moves to 47 points, and Superbad kicks off his career with 23. Up next, Nightmare versus Ruby.
I'm running.
Looks like it happened again, brother. You used up all the track on that run.
That's Nightmare for the win, and that brings Nightmare up to 62 points, and Ruby stays stuck on the bottom half of the list with 37.
Round 1, race 10, from the 412, the Porsche called 911 versus the Mad Bird from Motown.
That would be Monessen, PA, for you folks from out of town.
And that got him off the line, but that Mad Bird came around her right before the finish line.
That takes Mad Bird to 62 points, right beside his teammate Nightmare. And 911 cracks the seal with 11 points.
Round 1, race 11. For the 724, we got Kelly and her Corvair versus a newcomer who has been doing really well around here. The Mopar from the Razor's Edge called Exodia.
Hopefully we got the Corvair's front end hops problem taken care of.
Poker straight right down Broadway.
Finally, we're on the right track with that car. Now we got some data we can work with.
Round 1, race 12. From the 724, Trisha Breen and Christine versus Michael Mack in Bootleg.
I think Bootleg's going to have to win all 3 of his races tonight to have a chance at number 1.
She hasn't lost any of her reaction time off the line.
But Bootleg started coming around her at camera 2.
And that's Bootleg for the win. And that moves Bootleg up to 81 points, tying him with Vengeance for first place. And Christine still gets 11 points for crossing the finish line in one piece.
Round 1, race 13, the 49 Ford called Contender versus the Bird.
Oh, the Bird got him off the line.
Looks like the Contender lost power somehow.
Yeah, there's definitely something wrong with the Contender. And the Bird takes the win.
Contender creeps up to 43 points and the Bird moves up to a pretty respectable 67.
Round 1, race 14. 2 724 cars. The 64 Chevy called 420 Time versus the 724 Legend, the Good Vibes Super Beetle.
That little bug has been around since the inception of SLOTRODS. She's on incarnation number 3 in her 3rd paint job and rebuild, and at the end of round 3 tonight, win, lose, or draw, she's going to be retiring that car.
Well, here's wishing her luck. Yeah, it'd be nice to see her go out somewhere close to the top.
Kelly got the jump and managed to hold on for the win.
Now that moves 420 Time to 62 points and bumps Good Vibes Beetle up to 69.
Round 1, race 15, 2 more 724 cars. The Mopar funny car called the Cannonball versus Cab Over Pete.
They left at the same time, but Keith started to come around him almost immediately.
Looks like Cab Over Pete needs an overhaul. Cannonball for the win.
Cannonball managed to move up to 79 points, but Cab Over Pete remains on the bottom third of the list with 36 points.
Rounding 3rd and headed for home, round 1, race 16. 2 more 724 cars, Poison versus the Batmobile.
Nice drag race. But Batmobile came around Poison on the big end.
Giving the Batmobile the win.
Batmobile moves up to 42 points, and Poison moves to 47, tying him with Wicked.
Which brings us to our last race of the night. Grumpy's Toy from the Razor's Edge versus the Eliminator from the 412.
Looks like the Eliminator got out first.
They were neck and neck past camera 2.
Grumpy's Toy ekes out the win by half a car.
That brings Grumpy's Toy up to 30 points, and the Eliminator gets her first 11.
And if we put them all in order, they look like this.
Bootleg and Vengeance are tied for first.
Cannonball sets at 3rd, Golgotha at 4th, Black and Blue in 5th.
Valentine and Good Vibes are tied for 6th. The Bird is in 8th, and the Red Reaper barely staying in the top 10 at number 9.
420 Time, Madbird, and Nightmare are all tied for the 10th spot. And I'm sure all 3 of those guys would like to finish in the top 10.
So until next time, on behalf of the 724, the 412, and the Razor's Edge crew, we'd like to thank all of you for joining us in the underground.
So until next time, I'm Randy Silvis.
And I'm Tony Mollick.
And you've been watching
SLOTRODS.